Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is day 4 of Makeup Collection and Declutter Week 2019. We are going to be getting into basically all the rest of my eye makeup and brow products today. Yesterday we did eyeshadow palettes. On Tuesday I covered my blush, bronzer, and highlight. And on Monday I did all my base products. So if you missed any of those videos, I will link my makeup collection playlist for you guys here in the cards as well as in the description box, so you can go back, check those out when it's convenient to you. I also have done this whole series twice before, so if you want to like binge watch decluttering, you can watch my 2017 and 2018 series as well. But as for today, we have a lot to go over. This is going to be a super long video, and there will be timestamps in the description box if you want to skip ahead to a particular part or you're not interested in something and you don't want to watch it. I will not be offended if you don't want to watch my entire epically long video. I completely understand. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so here is what is on tap for today. All of the rest of my eye makeup, brow products, mascaras, glitters, single eyeshadows, so lots and lots to cover, and I'm sure a few things to declutter, so let's get into it. Alright, so why don't we start out with eyeliners. I feel like this is going to be fairly straightforward. I don't wear eyeliner on a daily basis, but I like having certain options on hand. So first I have 2 gel pot eyeliners. Going to keep both of these because they're the only ones I've got. This Sigma one is brand new, so when the L'Oreal starts to get a little bit old, I'll move on to the Sigma. I'm also really curious to try this because I've heard great things, but the L'Oreal Lacquer Liner is excellent. This is in Blackest Black, and for a drugstore eyeliner, it's super creamy, pigmented, long wearing, kind of the best. Then these are all of my like felt tip pen liners, and these are all pencil styles. So let's start out with the felt tip ones because there are less of these. I have the Sigma liquid pen eyeliner, which I have been using lately and I have been enjoying. It doesn't dry down to the most matte finish ever, but it is very, very black. I find it's pretty easy to work with and it's long wearing. So I want to continue to basically use this guy up before I declutter it. If you guys watch my videos, you'll know I am obsessed with the Balm Schwing eyeliner. This is one of the best liquid eyeliners, especially if you're trying to do a cat eye. It's got a super fine crisp point. It dries down crazy matte and black. It's so easy to work with. I really, really enjoy it. The only thing I will say about this guy is it's not the most waterproof. So if you have very watery eyes, this may not be the best option for you, but if your eyes aren't super watery, it definitely is so easy to work with and has such a nice finish. Now, I do believe this liner is brand new. I don't think I've swatched it or used it yet. It is from the brand Deuce or Douce, not sure how it is pronounced. This is their Fierce and Fine graphic pen. Obviously, I have several felt tip liquid liner pens. I probably don't need to keep this. I think that since it's brand new, I would probably be best off passing this along to a friend. Speaking of new, this is a brand new Tarte Tartist dual eyeliner. This one's really cool because it has a felt tip pen on one side, and then it has a twist up mechanical pencil on the other side, and I love this. I've used up one of these in the past, so I definitely would like to keep it in my collection. Now, this guy right here is essentially the exact same thing, but a drugstore version. So this is from Pixi. It was part of a collab they did with Wei Li Hong, and you can only get this as part of a set that comes with a little mini eyeshadow palette, which I do really like. I just wish this was available for purchase individually in case you didn't want to spend $20 and you didn't really need the eyeshadow palette. But the actual formula of the felt liner in here is really nice. It's very black, it's easy to work with, and then you have the pencil on the other side that is very creamy, a little less black, but I find it to be pretty easy to work with. So it's not that I necessarily want to declutter this, but I know it's about a year old now, and considering how many other eyeliners I'm keeping, I think it's probably a smart idea to just declutter this. But I think I might hold on to this Pixi Lash Line ink. This is new, I haven't actually used it yet, and I'm curious to see if it's the same or just as good as the liner pen in the Wei Li collab. And then these are all of my regular pencil eyeliners, of which I know I definitely don't need to keep all of these. So a few that I know I definitely want are the Persona waterproof eye pencil. This is in the shade brown. It's really nice, very creamy, and super, super budge proof. It's also a nice color because it's brown, but it's dark. So it's like a good off black color for everyday wear. Two of my most worn eyeliners of life are these guys from Marc Jacobs. They're the shade Irony and the shade Earthquake. These are the Eyeliner matte gel eye crayons, and they are so good. Incredibly long wearing, incredibly creamy, so long wearing in the waterline. They're bomb. Both of these are brown shades. This one's obviously a little bit deeper. This one's a little bit warmer, but I pretty much exclusively wear brown eyeliner on a daily basis. I only wear black if I'm doing a really glam look, because I just think it's a little bit too harsh. So I know these are really old, but I love them, and maybe I'll consider repurchasing fresh ones this year, and if that happens, when I do, I will declutter these guys, but in the meantime, holding on to them. I also got this guy from Influencer this past year. It's one of the new glitter eyeliner gel eye crayons from Marc Jacobs. And this is in the shade Glam Jam, which is a really pretty kind of ruby red color with silver glitter. Now, this formula is pretty much the same as the other eyeliners. It's crazy creamy and pigmented and very long wearing. It's kind of a unique product. I have worn it a few times, maybe not as much as I would like, but I do enjoy this, and since I love the formula so much, I think I'm gonna let myself hold on to this guy as well. But I probably don't need to keep all of these Pixie Endless Silky eye pens. I love the formula. It's very creamy, long wearing, easy to work with, but I don't find myself reaching for all of these shades all that often. The one I use the most is Matte Mulberry. This is, again, a very sort of everyday wearable shade. It's sort of brown, but also sort of plummy. It's really, really nice with warm toned eye looks, so I know I want to keep this guy, but I almost never reach for this sort of rosy, shimmery toned shade, and I've only used it like once or maybe just swatched it, so I think I can pass this guy along. And then I have this dark sort of navy blue, which is pretty, but I really don't wear navy very much. I have a purple, which has gotten a little bit more use, but it's very bright. And then this dark khaki color. I kind of like the khaki. I think that's fun. Let me just swatch this blue Rimmel eyeliner because I might want to keep like one blue shade. This one is definitely more inky. The other one is definitely more of a black toned blue shade. I do really like the Rimmel formula. It's really, really bomb, very long wearing. I should pick this up in the nude version because I like the formula, but honestly, I really don't wear blue eyeliner that often. I think I'm honestly probably more likely to wear the black blue, so I'm gonna declutter the purple and this blue shade along with the rose glow and keep this guy. I have never used or swatched this eyeliner from Doucet. This one is in a really fun bright blue color, but given my general lack of wearing bright colorful eyeliners and the fact that this is new and could be used by somebody else, I think this is an easy declutter. And I think I can also safely pass along this Maybelline liner as well, just because I do have so many other brown options. I've used this before several times and I like the formula. It's very creamy and it's a good affordable option. But yeah, I don't think I need this guy right now. I have a little tiny baby of the Marc Jacobs eyeliner in black, and I think this one might have a more shiny finish to it. But I think I'm going to hold on to this because I know I love this formula so much, and I didn't really keep much in the way of black crayon eyeliners. This Sigma one right here is brand new. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, so I kind of do really want to try this. Since I like the liquid eyeliner, I have high hopes for this, so I think I'm going to take this guy out of the box and use it. And then finally, these guys were a new launch from Mosquito. They're their first makeup products. Mosquito makes false lashes, so it makes sense that they would release eyeliners. They have a brown and a black, and I'd like to hold on to these guys just for reference of formula. They're pretty decent, long wearing, not the creamiest liner. They're like just a slightly more stiff formula, but they definitely do not budge, slip, slide around at all once they dry down. So we'll keep these guys as well. So moving on to mascara, this is everything that I have on hand. These two guys are currently in the rotation. They're open. I've been using them for the last like 2 months or so. So if you want to hear my thoughts on them, make sure you're subscribed and you're watching my everyday makeup drawer shop my stash series, because that's when I'll be talking about these and my experience with them. And then these are all of my brand new like backup mascaras. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I want to keep all of these except maybe this guy. This is the Creme Shop Whisk Me Away mascara. mascara, and it's a waterproof formula. And one of the things I learned in 2018 is I'm not a huge fan of waterproof mascara, so I kind of feel like I might not really like this, and since it's brand new and still in the packaging, maybe I can just pass it along to a friend or somebody else who would enjoy this formula more. But as for everything else, the Wander Beauty Unlashed, I actually ended up really liking after not being a huge fan of it at first. You just really need to layer this guy up a lot to get a good look on your lashes, but it doesn't make them clump up at all. It's actually really amazing, and it doesn't flake or smudge on me, which is really nice. Monsieur Big is so good. One of the things I noticed about this mascara is that the formula does not change. Like, you can have it on your vanity for 6 months and it will still be just as good. It doesn't get weirdly chunky or clumpy. It's ridiculous. Now, you all know I don't recommend keeping your mascara for an insanely long amount of time, but I feel like if I was ever going to invest in a full-size mascara, this one would probably be the most worth it, just because I feel like I actually would have a chance of using the whole thing up. This one from Sigma I haven't tried yet, so I'd like to test this out. I do really like the Tarte Tarteist mascara. Again, this one is very black, lengthening, adds some nice volume to your lashes, and the packaging, super cute. This Revlon one I haven't tried out yet, and I've heard really great things. And then Too Faced Better Than Sex is kind of a classic, a staple, really great volumizing mascara. So definitely excited to have this on hand once I'm ready to declutter these two guys. Now, these are all of my eyeshadow primers. I feel like this one is going to be really easy for me to go through because I know exactly what I want to keep and exactly what I want to declutter. 100% going to keep my Too Faced glitter glue. This is old and I probably should repurchase a new tube sometime this year, but I definitely still have a fair amount of product left in here, and I use this almost every single time I apply any kind of glittery loose pigment, glittery eyeshadow, or anything that has shimmery particles that I really want to stick. It's great. It is expensive. I've tried the NYX one. The NYX one is good. I think this one is a little bit better, but if you don't want to spring like $20 for a glitter primer, the NYX one will do the job. Now, I do also have this glitter primer from Motives, and I picked this up fairly recently, and I think I've maybe only used it once. I definitely would like to try it out some more because this is a very different type of formula from the Too Faced. Where the Too Faced is very creamy and thick, this is more of a liquid. It kind of reminds me of what the Lit Cosmetics, their glitter primer, or maybe the Anastasia one, so gonna need to give this a try and see whether or not I like it. I also have this Motives Eye Base. This is more of a creamy product that does have a fair amount of pigment in it, and I actually really like this as an eyeshadow base. It kind of covers up any veininess on your lids, and it also does make the shadows really pop. It's honestly probably the one product from Motives I would definitely recommend and consider repurchasing. You guys are gonna see throughout this week I decluttered a lot of my Motives stuff because I just didn't love it, but this is one of the products I've tried that I do think is actually decent. Now, this Makeup Revolution Aqua Seal is a really cool primer. I feel like it's like super glue for your eyelids. I mean, it's not that scary, but it basically is a liquid primer that really locks in makeup. I liked using this, like mixing it in with pigments to create my own eyeliner, sort of similar to Duraline, but I don't think I would use this to like revive a product. It dries down very, very quickly. It's got a different kind of texture, but the packaging now is super screwed up. Like the tip in here is all clogged. I can't get any product out. It's just a pain. So I think I'm just gonna declutter this. I don't know if I'm gonna run out and buy a new one anytime soon, just because I don't know how likely I would be to use it in the near future, but if you are looking for a cool product to create your own custom eyeliners, do some funky, cool, artistic stuff with, this one is cheap and really nice to work with. I have samples here of the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion and Too Faced Shadow Insurance. These are just wicked old, and I never reach for them because I have so many other primers, so I think I can declutter them. They're both fine, and they're more kind of like lotion-y textured primers, but neither one of them like blew my mind. So yeah, gonna say goodbye to these. And then I have the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base and the Carity Pre-Shadow Primer. Totally different price points. This is like $7. This one is like 20 something. I like them both. The NARS one was my holy grail for a very, very long time, and I recently repurchased it. I do enjoy it, but I think it's kind of expensive for what it is. NYX makes a very similar primer to this, their HD eyeshadow base, so if you want to save a few bucks, go with the NYX one. This Carity one is nice. It's a more translucent primer, so it's not going to cover up like redness or veininess on your eyes, but it dries down quickly. It's a thinner texture, so it doesn't make your eyeshadows like cake up or anything like that on your lids. I generally enjoy it, and they both have wand applicators, which makes them really fast and easy to use. Moving on to brows. These are all my brow products. Not a really crazy collection, but there are a few things I know I definitely don't use and don't need to hold on to. Right off the bat, this palette is something I picked up at Gen Beauty. It was gifted to me, and it's just not the right color for my brows. It's just too warm and too light. So while the formula I don't think is bad, I just know I'm never going to reach for this. I feel like my mom might be able to use this because these colors look much closer to her natural hair color, so I think maybe I'll pass it along to her. But I do really like this palette from the Brow Gal. This I got in a BoxyCharm an eon ago, but I use it all the time. It has 3 different shades of brow powder, and you can use these wet or dry. If you wet them, they're kind of more the texture of a pomade, which I think is really cool. So I definitely want to hold on to this because I do like having some kind of powder option on hand for filling in my brows. Then I've got 4 brow pencils, which I feel like is actually a really reasonable number. And this guy right here is so old and so grimy. Oh my goodness, all the packaging is like rubbed off. This is the Winky Lux Unibrow Universal Brow Pencil, and I think it's a really great product. I've been trying to pan it for what feels like a century, and I have just like a little bit more left. But I honestly, I'm kind of ready to say goodbye to this. I could declutter it and be all right because I would like to use some other brow products in my stash. But we had a good run. I don't honestly think this is super universal. I think if you have really light hair, it's going to be too dark. But if you have deeper brown natural hair in your brows, it's really nice. It's big and chunky, so it makes doing your brows fairly quick. And obviously, you get a lot of product, and it will last forever if you have thinner eyebrows. Then I have this Carity Brow Goals pencil, which is really nice. It's kind of cool. It has a pencil, a spoolie, and one of those like powder stamping tips all in one. So this is a really handy brow product to travel with. So I think I will hold on to this guy. And then this JCat Precision Micro Slim Brow Pencil is awesome. This is what I've been using on a pretty much daily basis. I have it in the shade Ash Brown, I believe, and I've been loving it. I think I'm gonna go through this fairly quickly, even though I've only been using it for maybe about 2 to 3 weeks. I have a feeling within like a month or two it's going to be gone because these little skinny brow pencils, they don't have a ton of product in them. So definitely going to keep it, and I'm sure I will be using it up soon. And then finally I have the It Cosmetics Brow Power Pencil in Universal Taupe. Again, this is one of those things that I'm not sure how universal it is, but if you have medium to deep brows, I think it's really nice. And the tip is somewhere in between microfine and those like really chunky angled brow pencils. So I've used this before in the past and I did like it. It's been a few years, so I'm excited to give it another go. From what I can remember, it looks fairly natural in the brows. It's not too stiff, it's not too creamy, it's just like a nice textured brow formula. So excited to crack into this guy once some of my other products run out. Now, if you watch my videos, you know I love and swear by my Cella Brow products. I have 2 of the Tantalizing Taupe eyebrow creams because I needed a backup. That's how much I enjoy this product. It's essentially like a little on-the-go pomade. So down here you have a little twist-off compartment with pomade and then a built-in brush on top. It's awesome. You do need to clean the brush off in between uses so it doesn't get real grimy, but I just keep like a little spot brush cleaner on hand usually and just wipe it off on a paper towel, and it takes 2 extra seconds. So this is kind of my pomade option that's just a little bit easier and faster than having a separate pomade jar and a brow pencil. And then this Ivory Lace Highlighter Crayon is the best brow bone highlight if you have yellow undertones to your skin. The Benefit High Beam ones are just way too pink. They don't look natural on me, but this looks perfect. It just highlights and kind of cleans up that underneath the brow area, and it's really creamy, it's pigmented, it's the best. So these I love and definitely am going to keep. And then this guy here I haven't used in a hot minute, but I love this product. I really need to put it back in my everyday makeup drawer so I stop forgetting it exists. This is the NYX Eyebrow Gel. It is heavy duty. This stuff is very pigmented and it will give you those carved out insta brows in a second. It's also insanely waterproof. So this is one of my favorite things to use in the summer when I don't want my makeup to melt off my face. Like, this stuff will not budge. But it is not quite as easy if you want to have a very natural looking brow. So I need to keep this. I want to use it again, and hopefully it's still good. If it looks a little funky and the consistency is off, then maybe I will think about picking up a new one. And then everything else here are more kind of like brow mascara, brow gel type products. This Brow Food Clear Brow Enhancing Gel, I haven't used at all yet. It's brand new. I'd really like to try it out and see if it's decent, so gonna keep this. And then I have 2 samples of the ABH Clear Brow Gel, which is one of my favorites. One of these is super wicked old, and one of these is brand new. So I think what I'm gonna do is toss the old one because it's getting a little grimy, and keep the new one. And then I've been testing out both of these products, which are kind of similar to Gimme Brow from Benefit. They are a tinted brow gel that has fibers. This one's from Kaja, the Brow Blowout, and then this one is from Soap & Glory, the Archery Volume Boost Brow Fiber Gel. And of these 2, I have to say I like the Kaja better than the Soap & Glory. This one's more wet in texture and a little bit more pigmented, so it's just a little bit more difficult to work with. This one is slightly moussey, but still more liquidy than the Benefit Gimme Brow. So I find this one just kind of is a little more natural in my brows. This one is just a little bit messier and a little bit more difficult to get like a clean look in the brow. But I think I will hold on to both of them, just continue to test them out a little bit more, and I'd like to be able to share my thoughts in like my everyday makeup drawer with you guys. So as you can see, I really enjoy glitter, and I've amassed quite a few options. And it always pains me to declutter any of these guys because I love them so very much, but I know I can probably let go of a few. Right off the bat, this Wet n Wild liquid shadow, I'm just not a huge fan of it. It's not totally opaque. It kind of is very sheer and pearlescent, and while it's shiny and pretty, I just don't find myself super inspired to reach for it, so I think I can safely pass this guy along. And while I also really love this Wander Beauty liquid eyeshadow, I've had this for way too long now, and with it being a cream product, I just think it's probably best off being thrown away at this point. I don't really love putting old cream products on my eyes, but this shade is beautiful. It's such a nice champagne. It was really fun for just like simple, easy, everyday makeup looks. You just throw this all over your lid, and it adds just a nice sheen. So we had a good run, but it's time to say goodbye. And then honestly, like everything else here, I pretty much actually use. I love glitter. I love topping my eyeshadow looks with a little bit of sparkle, and I rotate through these guys with a pretty decent frequency. The only ones I haven't used yet really are these MBA Cosmetics Bling It On liquid glitters. My friend sent them to me. And so, I mean, these are kind of weird, funky colors that I probably won't use on a regular basis. So, like, I could easily declutter these, but they are kind of cool and fun to have on hand as an option if I was doing a more artistic look or if I was doing makeup for someone else. So, I have the space. Basically, the thing is I have an organizer and I have the space for all of these. I don't necessarily need to get rid of anything. So, like, these are going to be questionable, but I kind of am tempted to keep them. But everything else, like, I really like. The Pixie Liquid Fairy Lights, those are awesome, and all the shades are neutral, so these are things, depending on what look I'm going for, I rotate through fairly often. Rose Gold is my favorite of all of them. This one I definitely have used the most, but that's because I have a tendency to wear kind of these more rosy, neutral toned eye looks most often. The Flower Warrior glitters are also super beautiful. This green one I definitely use less often, but I like having the shade on hand because it's unique and I don't have anything else like this in this really gorgeous like foresty green color. So love these. The Steel and Glitter and Glow, these are like ridiculously amazing. I have a full size of Kitten Karma and then minis of Diamond Dust and Smoky Storm. All of these I've used within the last month or two. This Pure Glitter is like unreal. It's so stunning. I used this in a look back in December and I was just like blown away. Like, what have I been doing with my life? Not testing and trying this out because it's so just like sparkly and beautiful. I just can put this all over the lid and buff it out with a brush and do like a one-shot eyeshadow look, and it's stunning. The Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in Midnight Cowboy is like a cult classic. This is really nice because it has a super fine tip, so if you want to like do a glitter lined cut crease. It makes it really, really easy. Or you can just use it to put glitter all over the lid. But yeah, definitely enjoy having this on hand. This NYX Glitter Goals, if anything, is probably something I could maybe declutter because I haven't reached for this as much. It's more of a metallic shadow than a glitter, but it's newer to my collection and I kind of would like to test it out a little bit more before I declutter it. This Milani Hypnotic Lights Eye Topper is a limited edition product that I don't know if you can get anymore, and oh my goodness, it is super pretty. This one again is more of a metallic or iridescent kind of topper, but it is really fun and it's nice on top of more like purple eye looks to kind of transform them and give them a neat shift. So yeah, I love having this on hand. And then this is from MBA Cosmetics. It's one of their Chroma Lights pressed glitters in the shade Prismatica. Like, how ridiculous is this? This is basically just like straight up glitter that you can tap on top of your lid, and it has that kind of more creamy silicone base to it, so it actually sticks. I still would use a glitter primer, but it's much less messy than other pressed glitters I've tried. So yeah, love this. It's so fun to have on hand. Then we can move on to single eyeshadows, which I actually have been getting more use out of lately because I've been intentionally putting them in my everyday makeup drawer to make myself use them. And I've been enjoying that quite a bit, but there still are a few things here that I know I'm probably just never going to be inspired to reach for. First thing right off the bat I can think of is this Urban Decay single eyeshadow. This is in the shade Midnight Cowboy, and it's basically just a nude with silver glitter. And honestly, I'm pretty sure I keep this for the packaging. It was a birthday gift I got from Ulta. It's special purple packaging and it's super pretty, but I never use it and I don't particularly love the color. So I think it's time to say goodbye to this guy. But I do really love this Moondust shadow in Solstice. I use this in my December everyday makeup drawer and it is such a stunning glittery duochrome shade. It's a lot of fun. So I like this. I do continue to reach for it and would like to continue to reach for it. So I'll keep this guy. I also really love this Sephora collection single eyeshadow in the shade Lucky Penny. Now I think they redid their eyeshadows, so I don't know if you can get this anymore, but this was like the most gorgeous straight up glitter shadow with like a champagne base. It's beautiful, super easy to work with. This little Kaja trio is bomb. I picked this up in December or the beginning of January. It's in my current everyday makeup drawer rotation and I'm obsessed. I love it. It has 3 different glittery eyeshadows in it and they are just so stunning. I will definitely wear these guys all over the lid with just a little bit of matte shadow thrown into the crease, and it creates such a fast, easy, beautiful makeup look. Definitely would recommend these if you are thinking about picking one of them up. I feel like they are worth the money. Yes, they're a little bit expensive. They're like $20 for one stack, but you're at least getting 3 shades, and the formula is amazing. Now, I kind of regret buying this Tarte Chrome paint in the shade Top Yacht. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I think it's a lovely eyeshadow product. I just kind of feel like I have other pressed shadows in a similar finish, so this is slightly redundant to my makeup collection. But since it's new and I haven't used it a ton yet, I definitely want to keep it and try to incorporate it in some different makeup looks. I mean, there's definitely no denying that it's pretty and shiny, and it's a great inner corner highlight, or you could even put it all over the lid. Now, while we're on the topic of shiny, pretty things, this Catrice Liquid Metal eyeshadow is absolutely insanely stunning. It's a beautiful champagne. It's very, very pigmented. It just looks so beautiful all over the lid. But I don't think you can get these anymore. So I probably wouldn't use it in a makeup look on my channel just because I don't think you guys can go out and buy them. So while I do really enjoy this, I'm pretty sure I have this shade in other palettes and I don't need to keep it in a single. This NARS Dual Intensity eyeshadow I've had for a while. It's a really pretty bronzy shade. I think you can use these wet or dry. Do I need to keep this? It's a pretty color, but it's honestly kind of boring, and I'm positive I have this shade in other neutral palettes. So even though it's expensive and it's NARS, I think I could declutter this. I have one of these Dose of Colors Ideal Duos. These are cool because they are a cream shadow. on the top, and then they have a loose matching pigment on the bottom, and they're meant to be layered. And this one was limited edition from last summer. It is from the Mint For You collection, and I adore this. It is something I don't wear a ton, but when I'm in the mood for like that minty green kind of pop of color on my eyes, I like having it on hand. So I don't know if I would go out and buy more of these because I don't use them that often, but I want to keep this one that I've got. Now, these NYX Prismatic eyeshadows I think are excellent. They are some of the best eyeshadows from the drugstore. They are so pigmented and shiny and beautiful. They just, they go on the lids really nicely, but I never reach for these because they're in singles. I think if I had these in like the naked pans, I would use them more because I could put them in my Z palette. But these particular like compacts, you can't depot them just because of the way that the pans are in the compact. So I think I honestly am ready to declutter these guys. I've had them for years, and while I like them and I think they're nice, I just know I'm much more likely to reach for my Z palette or my eyeshadow palettes, and I don't think they are unique enough of shadows to justify keeping them. And then everything left here is more of a creamy formula. I have 2 of the Butter London Glaze and Eye Glosses. These are amazing. They're super, super shimmery, and they've got a unique, almost like pudding-esque texture to them. This is the unicorn one, which is got like a cool iridescent sheen to it. When it hits the light, you really get that purple sparkle. It's super pretty. And then I also have the shade Mermaid, but this one got like really dried out, and I don't think it can be revived. And I love this like greenish gold kind of hue, but I honestly probably should just declutter this guy because it's not good anymore. It's all dried up. And then I have been loving on these JCat Prismetal Chrome Eye Mousses. These are incredible. They are like a mousse textured glitter eyeshadow that's slightly more wet feeling almost than the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. They're similar, but not the same. And man, these are so just like shiny and sparkly and fun. I really like them. They're more new to my collection, and I definitely want to be keeping these guys. Then I've got a few of these kind of like crayon style eyeshadow pencils, which I do really like for days when I'm like on the go, want super easy makeup. I have a little mini sample from Laura Mercier in rose gold, as well as one from Bobbi Brown in golden pink. These are kind of similar, but I like them both, and they're just kind of mini sizes, so I don't mind keeping them. I also really like this Essence 2-in-1 shadow and liner. This is in the shade Peach Perfect. It's a really pretty peachy pink kind of sheeny color that you can just throw all over the lid and blend out with your fingers, so pretty inclined to keep this guy. I have this white eye crayon from Ulta, and honestly, I never reach for this. I bought it for a very specific makeup look that I was doing, and honestly, in the last like 2 years, I haven't reached for it again, so yeah, I could probably declutter this, but it was creamy and pigmented and nice if you're looking for like a white eye base. And then these 2 Nude Sticks Magnetic Matte Eye Colors are amazing. I use these all the time. They're both kind of neutral brown shades, but you can basically just blend these out in the crease with a brush. They're so creamy to start, and then once they dry down, like they do not move. So a lot of times I will just put like one of these guys into the crease, blend it out, and then use one of those shiny shadow sticks on the lid, and it's like the easiest 2-second eye look ever. And then last, I have this eyeshadow base from Sigma. So you can use this under your eyeshadows or just standalone product as it is. You could put it in the inner corner. It's very shiny, pink, and pretty, kind of similar to the Essence one. And then finally, I have my loose pigments and glitters. And I tend to use these less often, but I do really like them because there's just something about a loose pigment that adds shine like nothing else. These 5 guys up here are the Vanity Goddess Chromatic Pigments from JCat, and I just picked these up. I did a video on them. I can link it for you guys if you want to check it out. So I definitely want to keep these because they are new to my collection and things I'm still testing out. But I probably don't need to keep all 4 of these NYX pigments. I think my favorite is this one, which is called Viva Las Vegas. It's a really pretty kind of like champagne Champagne shimmer shade. But this like more yellow gold one, I feel like I'm kind of less likely to reach for alongside this kind of dark purpley toned one that has kind of that blue duochrome. I've got that other Urban Decay shadow that's got a similar flip to it, so I don't think I need to keep either of these guys. But for the sake of having something a little bit more cool toned, I think I'll keep this shade in Diamond because it's more of a whitish silver glitter pigment. So I found this Too Faced Pure Gold pigment at TJ Maxx for $5. That was a good day, and I love it. It's very concentrated, it's very shiny, it goes on like fully opaque and gold when you pat it onto the lids. So I don't have anything else quite this true gold in my collection, I believe, so I'd like to hold on to it. And then if you saw my everyday makeup drawer video for January, I made a huge mess with this product. This is a loose glitter, and it's kind of like a pretty pinky shade. It's from Motives, and it's beautiful. This is one of the, what are you called, diamond something or other, gem sparkles in the shade Morganite. Fun fact, my wedding ring has a Morganite in it instead of a diamond. So this again is something a little bit more unique to my collection, and I think it looks really beautiful when tapped on top of a glitter primer on the eyes, so I want to keep it. But then all of these MAC pigments that I got from like holiday 2017, I think, they're old, but I mean pigments also, they don't really go bad. They last forever. So I don't need to keep all of these. Maybe I'll keep the glitter. The glitter is fun and coppery, but I'm not really drawn to this sort of shiny, light, iridescent shade. And these two look nearly identical. Maybe I'll keep the slightly lighter one. This kind of reminds me of the tan pigment from MAC, but this one's called Star Dream. And this one that is called Handsome Prince, I'm gonna declutter. So this is everything that I'm keeping from my eye and brow collection. Yes, there are a lot of products here, but there are a lot of different kinds of products. So I feel pretty good about this. And then this is the stash that I'm decluttering. A lot of these things are old and are gonna get thrown away, but anything that can be used by a friend or family member will certainly be passed along. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really hope you are enjoying this whole makeup declutter series. If you are, give this video a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. That YouTube algorithm, it's a tricky one. So every time you thumbs up my video, it makes it more likely for new people to find and discover me. If you're new here, if this is one of the first videos you're ever seeing on my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for watching and all the way to the end. Let me know in the comment section if you're new, say hello, and also let me know if you've been here for a while. What is your favorite type of declutter to watch? Like, is there a specific product that you find most exciting or most interesting? I'd love to hear from you guys. It's always so much fun chatting with you, so definitely say hello. Let me know what's on your mind in the comment section. And we have one video left to go in this series. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing lips, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you click the button before you go so that way you don't miss out on tomorrow's video. On that note, I know this video was super long and I've already taken up a whole bunch of your time, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in tomorrow's video for the wrap up of Declutter Week. Bye guys.